YouTube channel. In this video, we need to have a family discussion about how some of y'all been out here showing y'all ass on social media. Let's back up. So there's a TikTok creator named Reesa Teesa who did like a 50-part series about how she was deceived by her husband, who is by all accounts a sociopath, habitual liar. Some ain't right with bruh. Now, making a 50-part video series about very personal experiences is a choice. I want to say that that's a level of vulnerability, but vulnerability without boundaries isn't vulnerability, so it's something. What I can say is that she was very brave to share this, because one of the worst things about going through hard times is believing that you're the only one. And I think that she has been able to achieve a certain amount of healing by sharing her story. What I want to talk about here is that woman was very clear that she ignored red flags because she just wanted to be married and she thought that it was her turn to get her happy ending. So there were things that should have tipped her off, but they didn't, because she just wanted to be chosen and she just wanted it to be her turn. And I think that a lot of people are guilty of that, because you cannot socialize women to believe that their value is attached to being chosen by a man and then also judge them for doing whatever they can to be chosen by a man. Like, we are socialized so early on to be desirable. And part of that desire is to be nurturing. One of the first toys that you give a little girl is a baby doll. We immediately start teaching little girls how to nurture. That's why people think that being feminine or being a woman means that you are inherently nurturing, when that's not an inherent trait. That's just something that we start immediately giving to girls straight out of the womb. But aside from that, what really pissed me off, I can give you that that's a lot to share on the internet when the internet is a very unforgiving place. I can give you that we should have more discernment as women, and we shouldn't be so willing to be chosen that we overlook things. What pissed me off the most is that people were saying that because she is overweight, that she shouldn't have considered herself worthy of the kind of man that this man presented himself to be. And that is so upsetting on so many levels. But what I want to point out to people is that women of all identities on the entire spectrum of desirability have insecurities. And of course, the more you add to the list of things that aren't considered conventionally desirable, of course, those insecurities may grow. But the idea that Reesa Teesa should have known something was up because no man who is wealthy and kind and all of those things that check off, that fictional list or whatever, successful and all these things, that kind of man wouldn't choose her because she's overweight, and that she went along with this because she has low self-esteem. And this is the behavior of a person. All people have issues with low self-esteem, and especially women, because we are told all the time these conflicting messages that you should be beautiful, but not too beautiful, because then people will think that you're vain. And if you do anything to alter yourself to make yourself more desirable, then there's something wrong with you. If you go and get cosmetic surgery, there's something wrong with you, but you should also be a very naturally beautiful woman. And if you're not naturally beautiful, then you just get whatever you can take. You take whatever you can get from the world, and you're not allowed to have standards. You're supposed to just take whatever man will have you. And it's this belief that only women who are conventionally unattractive, which is so subjective, are the ones who are crashing out over men. And that is not true, because we see on social media all the time that women who are inarguably considered conventionally attractive by the majority of people put up with some horrible shit from men just to be in a relationship, just to be married, like crashing out. Okay, we have seen some of the most talented, most beautiful, most sought after women be publicly cheated on, publicly humiliated, and a lot of times those women stay. And the women who don't stay, who don't stick around for bad relationships, who don't stay in marriages that aren't working, they get a reputation for, oh, she can't keep a man. There's something wrong with her. She can't keep a man. Yeah, she pretty, but she can't keep no man. So it's like there's really no way to win in the court of public opinion. As a woman, you're always going to be wrong. You're always going to be wrong for trying to make yourself pretty, and you're going to be wrong for not just being pretty. So you might as well just do whatever the hell you want to do and have the standards that you want to have. But to say that that woman only accepted those things because she's overweight and overweight women are desperate, I think that a lot of men do desire bigger women, but they're too ashamed to admit that because society has said that those women aren't desirable. I don't know any overweight woman in my life who has had a problem getting a man. And not that that should be the measure of anything, but you know what I mean? To say that those women are so desperate for love that they'll just accept anything. There are a lot of women that are desperate for love that will just accept anything, no matter how beautiful or average or whatever across the spectrum, because women are told that we are supposed to be desirable and that the best thing you can be is chosen by a man. That fosters so much insecurity, so much desperation, so much scarcity mindset that it doesn't really matter what you look like. If you are not self-aware, if you do not have community and support and people to pour into you so that you can pour into yourself, you too could fall for some bullshit. And I'm a person who is just like very curious about very random topics. So I listen to a lot of podcasts and documentaries about con men and cults. And one of the things that, from like nationwide, no, internationally, the common thing that I have seen is that the way con men and cult leaders get away with their shit is because they foster shame in their victims. So many times, con men get away with their crimes because people are too ashamed to admit that they got. And the people are like, I'm smart. I'm not the kind of person who falls for this kind of stuff. So they don't even want to admit that this person got over on them. So kudos to Reesa Teesa for having the confidence or whatever it is that made her share that story with the world, because there are some people that found a sense of community and healing in knowing that, oh my God, I was deceived like that as well. And so some good did come out of it. I'm going to watch her interview on Tamron Hall because I think that she deserves to be supported, especially after sharing something so intimate and being ripped apart about how she looks, as if being beautiful or being desirable will save you from heartbreak or disappointment. Pretty privilege is a thing, don't get me wrong, but none of us are safe from insecurities because we live in a very capitalist society that prioritizes certain kinds of looks. We're all unattractive to somebody. I tell people all the time, the only person that everybody collectively agreed was beautiful was Halle Berry. And how many times has Halle Berry been publicly embarrassed by men? I'll wait. Attractiveness does not save you from horrible men. That's just patriarchy. Like, and for some of you who had the nerve to say something about how that woman looks, I know that you said that shit in a front-facing camera, and I want you to just go back and look at yourself and ask yourself if you got room to talk. Don't answer right now. Write it in your journals. Just sit with it. Look in your front facing camera and say, am I so drop dead gorgeous and so much of a smoke show and so perfect that no one could look at me and find any reason to maybe judge how I look and tell me that I'm unworthy of love? Just don't answer now. Sit with it. We'll talk later.